What's up, everyone? For the last few months, I've been working really hard at the gym, and I'm really proud of the progress I've made. While I'm currently 12 pounds heavier than I was in August, and my body fat has jumped from 16% to nearly 18%, my bench press is up 30 pounds, my squat is up 30 pounds too, and I was able to do all of that without obsessing over a food scale or calorie tracking this winter. Today, I'm giving a full update on my bulk, as it sometimes gets called. We'll look at how and why what I did actually worked, and why I chose to align my physical progress with the seasons. So let's get into it. To start, let's look at the logistics. I started at 184 pounds at the end of August, and as of now, I'm at around 195, which ends up being a textbook lean bulk, about a half a pound a week. But again, I didn't track my calories, not once. For a lot of people, that might be a recipe for disaster, but for me, it was a choice. I wanted to enjoy the holidays, but even more, I just wanted to enjoy food. I think that food is something that is meant to be celebrated, especially in the winter months when we're covered in layers anyways. My strategy was pretty simple. I ate 2 moderately sized meals a day. I'd have coffee in the morning and coffee midday to manage hunger, and as long as I didn't skip a meal right before a lift, my energy was pretty solid. It allowed me to be present during the winter and the holidays without the mental tax of micromanaging my macros. But I also did all of this knowing that this season was temporary. Even though I wasn't tracking my food, I was tracking my lifts really closely. I used the website strengthlevel.com to determine where I stood on the major lifts such as bench press, squats, deadlifts, and shoulder press. And then I made a Google sheet to map out a week-by-week plan to move from one level to the next by the end of my bulk. I only lifted 3 days a week. Day 1 was squats and hypertrophy bench. Day 2 was deadlifts. Day 3 was bench press and shoulder press, as well as some quad-focused leg presses. I kept my reps low, mostly 5 to 6 reps, focusing entirely on raw strength. And thankfully, I was able to make progress, even after getting hit by a car in October and taking a week-long trip to New York City in December. But as is always the case with growth of any kind, it wasn't a straight line up. In November, my shoulder press hit a wall. I plateaued, and then toward the end, my squats started to really push me to a point that I wasn't sure I could keep progressing. Moments like that are the real test. It's easy to get frustrated or feel like you're failing, but I designed my plan to only increase weight every 2 weeks. And that gave me some insurance so that if I had an off week, I had a second week to recoup. I didn't change the goal. I just acknowledged the struggle and then stayed the course. But this week, I'm at a transition point. I'm definitely been feeling heavier with my body fat creeping into that 18% range. And in the past, this is where the panic set in. But I'm not panicking this year because I've done this process of cutting weight twice now, and I know that I can stick to my plan. One of the main ways that I do this is by connecting my cut with the season of Lent. For me, this is spiritual and mental as much as it is physical. Winter is a time for rest, comfort, and reflection, but spring is the season of growth and discipline. One of the most fundamental parts of living an abundant life is to live a holistic and an integrated life. So the nightly walk that I take isn't just for steps, it's part of my mental athlete routine to give my brain time to enter what's called the default mode network, where it just can roam and wander for a while. In the same way, starting this cut in conjunction with Lent is a signal to my body and my mind that I'm moving out of mourning and the reflection of winter and into the focused discipline of spring. By aligning my fitness goals with the natural and spiritual calendar, the discipline of a cut doesn't feel like punishment. It feels like a sort of renewal. So this cut cycle is really about shifting priorities. I'll focus more on hypertrophy, which basically means moving from heavier weights at 5 to 6 reps to 8 to 12 reps instead. I won't add weight to the bar until I can hit 12 reps for all of the sets of each lift, with the exception of deadlifts, which I'm going to keep at 6 reps. My back health is a priority, and I'm not willing to sacrifice form for reps on that specific lift. On top of focusing on higher rep ranges, I'm also going to get back into tracking calories. As with a lot of habits, we can't just start counting things on day one and expect a lot of success. I've been working on getting back into the rhythm of that habit for the last week, even though I'm not in a deficit yet, just to build up that mental muscle. I'll focus on cutting weight at least until the middle of May, around my birthday, and then reevaluate to see if I want to go further. My hope is to have the most muscle I've ever had while also getting the most lean I've ever gotten at the same time. We'll see how it goes. So that's the update. 12 pounds gained, 30 pounds added to most, if not all, of my main lifts, and a mindset that's ready for spring. If you're struggling to stay consistent in your fitness journey, try approaching your fitness or your exercise as more than just a gym routine. Align your goals with the seasons, whatever that looks like for you. Keeping the same routine every day, all year, can get so boring. Setting a season-specific focus can help you do what you need to do to reach your goals. I'll be checking back in a few weeks to show you how the Lent cut is progressing. If you want to see the Google Sheet I use to track my progress, let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.